Right. Can someone let me know if we've got any sort of audio there? Well, don't be a smart ass, Simon. Can anyone let me know if we've got any sound? It's serious when things don't work. Very serious when things don't work. Well, according to that I should have sound. I've got a bar going up and down. And the mic, so that's indicating that the mic's on. So I think we've got sound. Nobody's actually telling me like. Thank you. Right, is it clear? At least I know we're on the right, well, we should be on the right mic. Lovely. Yeah, don't ask me why, but something disabled the microphone. Yeah, hang on. There's only one real way to test it. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, I should be careful doing that on here, really, shouldn't I? You know, it's the homosexual love call, that, innit? There we go. Right, let's go back to camera 4, shall we? Let's see if my sound stays on this time. I don't think it went off last time, I just don't think it was there, was it? Right, so what we're going, let's try from the beginning, shall we? Right, last night, Jesus, man. Hang on a minute. It's my friend Paul. Right. Cheers, Paul. Anyway, basically, last night we got the changer done. That's all done and dusted, ready to go back in. It's not in yet, but it's ready to go back in. The amplifier is there on the bench, stripped out of its case, ready. I took it out of its case in advance, and I'm glad I did, because see, these dansets, this particular model was never designed to have legs, so therefore the bracings inside were never fitted at the factory, and Heather, in her infinite wisdom, fitted them, or somebody did, and because they fitted them, one of them was in the way, and I had to take it out because I couldn't get the bloody amplifier out. So that'll have to be re-glued in. I got it out in one piece, because luckily it was only silicone that was used, so it didn't take much effort to remove the piece of wood to get it out. We'll have the Mildred pop round tomorrow with some wood glue, and we'll glue that back into position and put the screws back in. But these models were never designed to have legs on them. But that being said, I think they look horrible with legs on, because they look dead spindly. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because they look horrible with legs on them. They look dead spindly. You know, although legs were available, you know, for I think the legs were available, Heather. I think the legs were available from the Bermuda upwards. I don't think I know they weren't available for these because they haven't got the supports in. But I will put the support back just in case. I didn't take the leg fitting off the bottom, the actual bushing. I didn't take that off because I only had to remove 2 screws, because you put 4 separate pieces of wood in. Sorry, 2 separate pieces of wood for each mounting. So that was quite thoughtful, because it meant it was easier to get it out. But I'll put it back as it was, just in case you decide you ever do want to put legs on. But I don't think they look right with legs. None of them do. Even if they come with them, they don't look right with them. They actually do a little dansette stand, and I've got one in the front room. It was made to go with the so-called Bermuda Mark II, which was the Bush version of the Dansette Bermuda, the rank organisation version, after it was sold to them, after they bought the name. And I sold the record player a long time ago, but I kept the stand. My Clark and Smith now sits on it. No, they don't look right with legs. They don't. Yeah, I forgot there. Good evening, Heather, love. Yeah, I didn't say hello to you, did I? I hope you're good. Yeah, anyway. We've got the amplifier there on the bench. It's I did try it yesterday, it didn't work. But we're hoping we're going to put that to rights, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon we can play a few records and see how it sounds. I noticed it's got one of those new replica BSR full 5 cartridges. I'm not a lover of them. The last one I had with one of them, the records kept jumping every time they hit a bit of bass. It jumped out the groove, and I had to take the cartridge apart and put one of the old-fashioned actuators in that the stylus sits on, because they were a lot softer back then, and that cured the problem. But I'm not going to do that because it's not mine, so we're not going to go anywhere near that. We're going to leave that, because the cartridges are about 38 quid, and I don't fancy paying 38 quid if I destroy it by accident. So no, we're not even going to think about that. But we are going to get it to a point where it will play. It went through a full stack of records last night before I went to bed. When I came back on, it went through a full stack of records, and we established that the auto changer is actually working correctly, and it's like butter. Like I say, the controls are as smooth as butter. The operation of it is really nice. The turntable platter doesn't slow down now when it goes through the cycles, and that's it really. It's nice. Anyway, you didn't tune in to sit and listen to me yap away, did you? You tuned in because you want to see me do something. So, without further ado, guys, let's go to camera 2 and let's get over there. I'm still got a yap because I've got to wait. I've just realised I haven't turned the soldering iron on yet, so we've got to wait for the iron to warm up. So, thank you very much, Heather. I always like to do the best. Put a tiny piece of foam between the stylus and the groove it sits in. Very funny. Yeah, very funny. Oh, you mean the groove that I thought you meant the groove of the record, the groove that the stylus, yeah. Well, I'm not going to do that, yeah, but because there's not a lot of clearance, Simon. Yeah, it's worth trying that actually, but I'm not going to. I went through a stack of records last night, and it seemed to be okay. It didn't seem to be jumping, so I'll leave it. The play weight on them cartridges should be about 8 grams. Oh, whatever it needs to improve, I'll do that, Heather, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. What we'll do, we'll get the amplifier up and running, and we'll see how it sounds and how it plays, because it seemed to be okay. That cartridge should be about 8 grams. Them BSR full 5, they weigh in about 8 grams. They're certainly higher than 5 and they're higher than 6. I will look up the specs, but I'm sure they're about 8 grams. So if it comes in, so if I weigh the stylus, and if I weigh it with the stylus scale and it comes in at that, then I'll leave it there. But we will get it as low as possible, so it'll you know, because it's a common misconception actually that a heavy stylus damages your records. It does if it's too heavy. I mean, if you were to like play about anything over 12 grams, you're asking for trouble, I suppose. But I've had some of the really old Garrard auto changers were designed to play micro groove records at 12 grams. And it tells you that in the setting up instructions that the stylus should be set for 8 grams. But that was the cartridge that was used back then. But modern cartridges can track lighter, so I generally go for about 5 grams. On ceramics I generally go for about 5 grams. With the exception of the Arcos GP104, I set them to about 2 grams, 3 grams, because they're in a class of their own. Oh, we'll certainly be playing the Philly Shave Twist. Make no doubt about that. Anyway, I better get to camera 2, hadn't I? And while I've been talking, I could have had the soldering iron warming up, couldn't I? But I haven't. But never mind. Let's get my chair over. Get my my rather ample posterior, and obviously the rest of me, to the workbench, and soldering iron on. And what we'll do, we'll test a few of the major organs on this. We'll zoom in a little bit. Will the zoom work tonight? Ooh, we don't know these things. Can I even find the remote for the video camera? That's something else we don't know. I seen it earlier. There's me cleaner for my soldering iron. I seen it earlier. Where did I see you? Where were you? You naughty remote. Where have you hidden? Not there, is it? No. Not there. Oh, there it is, hiding behind the solder. Let's see if it'll work. It probably won't. Let's have a look at the picture behind me, because that one's got a delay. Nope. Let's get my glasses. I'm gonna have to pop a new battery in this at some point. I have got some, I can't remember where I put them. But it is definitely the battery, because it should have 3 volts. How many volts should be in it? I measured it the other day, but 3 volts, and there's only about 2 volts barely in this one. So try that. There. There you go, guys. Sounds like my noisy neighbours in. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to test the major organs of this thing. Yeah, I've got a feeling there might have been no sound. That probably doesn't help. We'll unwrap those and see what's behind them. So we'll check this. That transformer's loose. It's going to have to be tightened. And that's how that's. You know, that's it. Correct. Check this winding. One seven 171.9 ohms. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's check the power transformer. So we'll check the make sure it's turned off. Then we won't get an erroneous reading. (196 ohms) on the primary. Yeah. Let's have a look at the. Now we know the the 6.3 volts working. Because the bulb lit up, so we know that's working. Now let's test. Let's get round here and see if we can test the secondary. Yep. Yep. $104, yeah, that's good. Well, I'm happy that the transformer's working. So I'm happy that the major organs are good, so we can proceed. Because if you get nothing from these, you always have to check. Because if the power transformer especially is knackered, then it's game over. Right, and I'm going to check these here. Because I'm going to see if this is why we were getting no sound. Just shove that in there. I should just use my head and peel it first. That one's got continuity. Let's check this one. Yep. So we can proceed. And what we're going to do, we're going to start off by, we don't even need that for a minute. What we've got here, guys and girls, and I use these a lot because I think they're brilliant for what they are. Just making sure Here we go, vintage vermin, DANSETTE. They weren't as bad as everybody says. I mean, there's still plenty of them about. Anyway, what we'll do here, we'll straighten that. Straighten that. Because what we've got to do is make up our, make sure that that's nice and straight. Which it is. So this is going to be our ground here. The middle, we'll bolt that to the chassis somewhere. What we're going to do, I've already got the capacitor packet here made up. We've got we're going to put two 47s in and a 22. And that's, be careful, I just nearly thought about cutting the ground off then. So we're going to go put them in and see if we need any heat shrink on them. Because if we do, then we'll put some on. And then what we'll do, we'll come across to the other side there. And then, do you know, that's somebody's just, it's over there, I'll have to leave that. And there we go. Bring that. Bend that one up. Bend that up out of the way. Get that out of the way. Get that up there. Right. Get my pliers. We're not going to squash the capacitor, we're just going to use it to hold, use the pliers to hold the capacitor in place, because we can put the wires onto it later. That's no worries, we make the thing up now, then we can decide where we're going to put it. Right. There's our negative. Yep, there are our grounds. Lovely. Oops, stand up. There we go. Lovely. Now, let's get me clippers. We clip off the bits we don't need. There we go.
Now, let's get them sorted in all nice and neat together. Yep. And we don't have to worry about them touching anything. That's nice and neat, and that's what you want. And that's how we're going to mount that in. So we'll put that to one side. We don't need that, we don't need them right over here. Right, so what we'll do next, let's get my phone, because I might need to take a memory jogger. I always do, because I couldn't find a manual on this. Not that you need one, there ain't much to it, but a circuit would have been nice. But we'll do that in a minute. I just want to see. Yeah. Let's get through all these messages. There we go. Right. Now what we don't want to do, we've got a, see, we don't need to leave the capacitor where it is here. We can them two, that just goes over to ground. That's just a ground lead, that, so we can clip that, that's no problem. But we'll clip that, so they just go to ground. There we go. I remember doing this once. When I was very young. Clip that one off there. That goes to our rectifier. Clip that one, because that's positive to our rectifier. Comes straight off the capacitor. So what we do, we leave some wires on with the colours. So that we know because, like I say, we don't actually have to put it back where we're taking it from. We can put it where we damn well please. Now, saying that now, that capacitor, is that connected to, is that a resistor? No, it's not soldered to that. That's that one. I think we're still a bit straight on that one. Not quite. No, we should go. We want it out anyway. Right. Let's just clip. We just want to get the clip. Yeah, and that's the resistor. Now I should be able to just pull it straight through now. There we go, it should go this time. Come on. All the wires are cut. Well, it's that one there. It's that one there. Get that off. There we go, gotcha. Right. So basically, we should have right. Have we got anyone in? Good evening, Judge. Nice to see you tonight, fella. So what we'll do, we'll save the node resistor. That went to the rectifier. And that went to there. So let's see what our colours are. So red is 32. Red is 32. Plain is 25. And the yellow must be 16. So now we know that. And we know that the node resistor goes to there. To the green wire goes to there, that goes to rectifier. And there's a blue wire, which is that one. Just pop that there for a second. And the blue wire goes there. So we know now, so what we'll do, we'll get the tester. We'll see how bad our capacitor is, shall we? So let's measure this capacitor, see how dead it is. If it is dead, that is. Yeah. Put the lead through that one there because it's... So let's test the red one. Should be 32 UF. 35. 0.58. 0.58 ESR, that's not bad. It's a bit low, it's not bad. 35.22. Now the yellow one. Let's pull that on there. And that one is 17, that'll be that's 2.4 ESR. And the other one is 27, and that's 1 ohm. So would the record player work with that in it? Absolutely. Would it last long? Probably not. So what we need to do next, we need to take yeah, that came off there, so we need to take, and that there is probably part of our resistor. I thought it would be. Oh, who's this now? Right. So what we're going to do, we'll take the, because the yellow, and what I want to do is I want to get this clip that off there, because we'll have plenty of. If I just clip, see, I want as much as the original wire as I can keep. There, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. I mean, so it's Christmas. There, got it. So what we need to do next is connect that straighten it up a bit. There we are. We will test this resistor. $1.12K. Let's give it a wipe. Wipe some of this horrible gunge off. So at least it looks decent. And the one thing we like is when we're doing this is nice clean parts to play with. Yeah, that's good. That's it. Now we can put this onto, at this point it doesn't matter because we're using 47k, sorry, we're using 0.47, my bloody head's wrong, we get there in a minute, we're using we're using, where's my small pliers, there they are. We're actually using 248 47 UF smoothers because that's what we've got. Put that there. And that one's a 48 and that one's a 47 and 48. So we can use either one of them. And bend this over. So we can what we'll do now, we'll tin that up because this has never had solder on it before, because when it was used in the record deck that it come from, it was actually plugged in. Let's put a bit of solder on the resistor. Now let's get this soldered on. Yeah, hello Pat. Got you there, mate. That's the good thing about having the tablet right next to you. You can keep an eye, you can keep abreast of your chat. There we are. Now get us into position. There we go. What we'll do next, we'll bring that down to under there. There we are. clip that onto there. Solder that into place. Now I want to move that up out of the way because that has to come up and come over. There we go. Then we can just pop that there for a minute. There we go, guys. How neat that is. Look how neat that is. That's just what we wanted. Yeah, because the plane is 25 microfarads, and that's the plane there where I cut that node resistor from, so that's where we're putting it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yep, good. Now we'll put our diode on. Because our diode comes off here, oops, comes off here. There we go, just put that there, turn that there. I can hear you. There we go. And that is correct. Make sure when you're doing it you put your diode the right way. There we are. Move out for a minute. Might need it as well. No, I haven't afforded to take my solder with it. Right, so that's the diode. Bloody, I'm going to turn this damn thing off in a minute. I can't turn it off because you never know who's going to ring and it might be important. Right, so that's our rectifier. So I'm going to just show you this. This is our, we'll turn round to face the camera. This is our replacement smoother and rectifier unit made up. Doesn't take much, does it? That's all it is. Simple as that. Now all we do actually I've put that I put the fucking diode on the wrong way. And after all that talking I went and done it myself wrong. No worries. No worries. Yep. Because that side the transformer goes to. Oh well. Should we just pretend we didn't see that? We'll leave the loop in it though, because we'll need the loop for the transformer anyway. Well, one side of this will go to the fuse, the other side will go to the transformer. So what we'll do, we'll get that in. There we are. Solder that back in. There we go. Now we're right. Right. So make sure your ring goes up to your. Yeah, that's how it's done. Now, we're not worried about the fuse holder or the tone correction capacitor just yet. We'll put them over there for a minute. We can get rid of that. Get rid of that for there. Move the ESR tester because we don't need that, so we can put that back. There we go. Now, I may have to extend some wires. We've got a ground here, we've got a blue, which is coming from the transformer. We've got the yellow, which went to the yellow. We've got the other half of we've got the green. We've got two greens. No, we haven't. That's the black that goes to the rectifier. And we've got green. Now, let's bring these out here, because we can reroute them. There's no rule saying we can't do that. We'll bring these out, we know where they are. There's no rule saying we can't reroute them. If we need to, we can always put them back. Now this is the HT. Yep. Yeah, because that's your, yeah, that's your speaker, that's to your tone, that's to your light, that's to your valve, from your tone, yeah, through, yeah, that's right. And this one, what I'm actually looking for now, I would like to be able to now, if I take the rectifier off here, put that there so I don't lose the nut. Probably that rectifier that was fucked. What we'll do next, now that we're going to have to cut that bolt down because it's a bit long. So we're going to have to cut that bolt down. And these capacitors, because this goes near enough to the bottom of the thing, we're going to have to bring these up. No problem. So we'll bring them there, and that there, and that there. Make sure we've got nothing in the way of anything else. No, we haven't, miraculously. No, we haven't. We're actually pretty good. Just, yeah, there we are. We're actually pretty good. I'm actually happy with that because we can put that. We can put it either there, or we can put it there, and that's still going to fit where it originally was. It's still in the footprint of the original capacitor, so that's good. So I'm happy with that. We just need the Dremel, so if I can find the Dremel, because we might as well do it now. Move my 2 milk tins. Where's my damn Dremel? Where's my goddamn Dremel? I'll end up pulling all this out of here. And it won't even be here. Yeah, I think that's it down there. Yeah, I can just see it. But can I? Oh. Let's move my tin. We'll probably lose camera too. But we need to chop that nut down a little bit, and bolt down a little bit, just so that we can put it where we want it. Because it's not going to need to be that high, that long. And this is the one here. So what we'll do, don't even need to measure it because even if I cut it there, still too bloody long, but no worries. Hang on, we may lose the camera. We lost the camera? Oh no, we haven't. Hey, we've got a nice shower of sparks there, didn't we? And I'll keep that because they make alright glove screws. Right. Now all we do We'll make sure we get the nut back on the end of it. And I'm hoping we can get the nut back on the end of it. Perfect. Let's move the Dremel, and I'll unplug that actually because we're done with it for now. See, what I try and do, I try and use most of what I take out to put back in. So what we can do now, we can fit, we've got to tighten that transformer as well. I can't leave that like that, so, but that involves the drill, so I'm not doing that tonight. See, we had a screw here, a screw here, a screw here, and I think there was one here. And it would help if I remembered where I'd put me. There they are. My components. See, I could even put that in that way, and that would probably be even better. Let's just move the rectifier up. There we go. That'd probably be. We'll stop in a minute, folks, and have a chat. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, look at that. Right, we need a shake-proof washer. There's the nut. Where's our shake-proof washer? We did have one. There it is. Putting this on is a bit of a pain in the ass. And there, I'm hooked up on that, that's it. Putting the washer on is a bit of a pain because my big fat fingers. There we are. This is going to be interesting, getting the nut on. Where have you gone? There you are. If I can push that down there, then there we are. Wait to get tapped on the finger by the nut. I know it's on now. Get my little screwdriver, my favourite red screwdriver. There we are. See, I can put this, I can put it either that way, or I can put it that way. Don't know where I'm going to put the fuse, probably put the fuse here. So we're probably going to come off, I don't know, I'll put it this way for a minute because I'm not going to wire it. I'll work out how I want to wire it and then decide what position it's going to go in. There we go. And that's basically, put that back up there. There we go, guys. There you go. Right. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it here. We just do it nice and we do it neat. These grounds, that's not a problem. We can just take a ground from here and we can take it down, because we can't solder to this because it's aluminium. But these grounds we can't take it that way. We can't take it through there because it's not long enough. It's a shame. But that needs tightening anyway. What I'll do tomorrow, because that transformer needs tightening, I'm not going to be able to do that now. And that earth will be loose, so that won't help. So what we'll do, what time are we on? 8:10. Oh, we've got plenty of time. So what we'll do now, we'll look at doing our wiring. We have kept our old capacitor there so that we can see where we're wiring. Let's get the knife. So wire's a bit tough. There we go. Just cut into it. I've got some Scotch eggs for me supper tonight. I've not had Scotch eggs for ages. Scotch eggs and a pizza. So what we'll do now, we'll put our little J-hook in here, because the wires are not going to reach to where they originally went. So we are going to extend them. We'll put a J-hook. And that way if we put J-hooks in, the insulation doesn't slide off the wire either. Because trust me folks, it can do. Yeah, we've got Steve here tomorrow. Steve will be here tomorrow. He comes every Sunday, as you know. So we'll be live again tomorrow. I've been live every day this week. Normally I have Saturdays off, but I want to get this done for the lovely Heather, so I wanted to get it back and start enjoying it. There's just those grounds. What we'll do, we'll pull them up here. Goes all the way across to the chassis. So I'm wondering, I'm actually going to question, well, we do need them, but do we need them there? Do we need to connect them anywhere else? Because let me just get my meter, because no matter where I put them on the chassis, go to continuity, so I can probably just do something. So we'll go there. Yeah, we're there. We're there. And if I come up onto here, yeah. Yeah. So really, and this one here is the one that's going to be dodgy. I mean, what we need to do is to either try and tighten the rivet or take the rivet out and put one of the speaker wires will come off. We're not going to be putting them Ratial speaker wires back on anyway. We're going to be fitting some nice new clean ones. Right, so in amongst my many things I have in my drawers, hello Mark, did I sort the deck out? Do you really ask me? Do you really have to ask me that? Ah, yeah, of course I sorted it. Yeah, it was the anti-skate, the primitive anti-skate spring they put in. What had happened was it had come dislodged. I hadn't spotted it when I put it back together. Of course, it wouldn't let the tone arm move back. That was the problem. But yeah, we're done. The deck works absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Harvey's gone for half an hour. Right. See you in 30 minutes or thereabouts, Harvey, when you get back. Yeah, I sorted it out, Mark, no worries about that, mate. Yeah, I came back on last night. I couldn't go to bed and leave that deck not done. You know, considering some people see me as the king of record decks, you know, can't let my reputation slip now, can I, guys and girls? Right. You never know, one day I might become known as the king of DANSETTE. Do I really want that moniker? Right, so that transformer I can't tighten tonight because it does. I don't think I'll be able to get rid of them with the Dremel and rivets. I might even. What I might be able to do, if I can get something in between there, I'll ring my mate. I'll ring the Mildred in the morning. Not ringing him now. No, I won't. I'll ring my mate Mick in the morning. Because Mick's a mechanic. Mick will have a centre punch. So if I can get a centre punch and just widen these, just splay them out a bit, it will tighten the rivets up. But what's happened is somebody's probably swung on the transformer in the past. But there's no way I can. There's no way. I'm not going to start banging it this time of night. That's not going to happen. So what we can do, we can get the wire out the drawer, because I have. Hey. Yeah, I always sort them out, you know me, guys. Get the wire kit. This is a jumper kit. I got this. I bought a job lot a few years back. I bought a job lot of stuff and I got this in it, and it's really proved useful. I'll get a bit upset when it runs out. So what colours do we want? Doesn't matter really. I mean, but look at this, all this we've got in here, all different size jumper wire. Just get me leg under there. So what we need yellow. See, and I'm not going to use all these. I mean, I can cut them down. I'm not going to use a full one. But what we can do, we can Let's get the heat shrink out. Do 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 do. Right. D. So pull that down there a bit. I'm not worried about not putting the heat shrink on yet because there we go. Get the pliers, get the big uns. What we can do, we can squash that. Get a really good, there we go. Because that's what we want, a really good mechanical connection. Let's get some more solder. There it is. Turn the meter off, I don't need that now, and I'm not a rich man. Right. There we go. Lovely. Just let that solidify, which it does. That's good. Now what we'll do, we'll use, hey, how about this, hey, we're getting colour coordinated here now. Let's cut that, I don't need a full length, don't need a full one. Don't need a full one. Half will do. Oops, don't you dare fall off there. Come here, sometimes it helps have a big belly. There we are. Yeah, I was watching your road trip video, Mark. Mark as in 4 wheels wobble, that is. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Right, let's see where we're going to solder our yellow wire, and that's why we keep our yellow wire. Oh, hang on, let's put that there a minute. Our yellow wire, I thought it went onto our plain post. Thought our yellow wire went. Hang on. Our yellow wire goes onto our plane, which means that goes to our 20. That means it goes to our 22 UF capacitor, which is there. And if we bring this through, in fact we don't want to bring it through, in fact what we'll do, we'll bring it the way it originally went. There you go, guys. How about that? So that's that one. Then we want our green. And our green can go the same place. But the green and the blue, they go together. So if I bring the blue through the transformer there, move those grounds, don't need those just yet. So if I bring the blue, in fact what we'll do, yeah, I was looking at your video, I quite enjoyed it, Mark. Yeah. Yeah. At least your car didn't break down, did it? You know, it did well, but there again, old cars do, don't they? If it had been a modern one, you'd have been left stranded somewhere. Right, so what we can do here now, these two go to the same point. They go to the same point. So what we can do, we can use, that one's going there, so we can prepare this one now. Yeah, I watched it last night on my phone, in bed. Yeah. There we go. That's prepared to be soldered in. Let's prepare this end. There we are. Now, put them there like that. Bring that through both of those. Get the, that'll do. I think that'll do. Will that reach down to there? Or it should do. Just double check those first. Double check everything. I can't think where have I put the original capacitor, so I can have a quick look. There it is. Right, so the green and the blue the green and the blue went there onto the yellow, and yeah, I I've put the node resistor in the wrong place. I've just realised, because now I can see it better. Yeah, the node resistor I've put on there, and that needs to be moved. No worries. No worries. So I've put it there. I've put it there. And I should have put it there. Yeah. Yeah, because that's your yellow, and it just has the yellow on it, nothing else. There's nothing else on there except that yellow. And this one has your green, your blue, and your node resistor. So yeah, I've put the node resistor in the wrong place, but that's not a worry. But at least that's why we do these checks, to make sure that we're right. That's why we do all these checks, and that's why I always say, always check your work, and don't worry if you do something wrong. And the way I solder these in, I make them reversible, so I can get the bloody things back off. Right. And all we do, we just put our node resistor on there. But we won't just yet, because we're going to be putting wires in there. And we'll do a straighten that. And just clip that. There we go. Then when we come to put that, so our yellow wire, yep, our yellow wire goes on its own. I can get that in. Eee. Slip that through the end there. There we are. It's nice that these wires actually do slip through there. There we go. That's the first capacitor connected. Then we want to connect what we want to do is tin these up, because we're going to be connecting That's it. There we go. Right, so that's the yellow wire done. And these wires all go together. And that one is the feed in, the rectifier. Lovely. So what we'll do now, we'll solder. That's it. Make sure that we've got one. Yeah, and all we do there. Get another piece. Heat shrink. Can't use the other piece because it's a bit too thick. Put this one on. Use this. Slip that across there. There we go, look at that, guys. Now what we can do, we can move that one out of the way. Slip that one through the hole. And I like the fact that these holes in this just fit. They're just right for getting these wires through. I mean, just there we go, look at that. And I think I might be able to just twist that round. Yeah, look at that. And then the node resistor will straighten that wire. I've trimmed the node resistor wire down a little bit. Ooh, pardon me. Now what we'll do, whoops. Let's get the helping hands. Comes in handy for holding your end up. There we go. There we go. There we go. Lift that up to there. So that will look good. There we go, just check everything as we go. There's one terminal there we didn't use. we'll use it for something that ground didn't get used. That's if, right. Now this end here, if I can get all that wire there, comes out the transformer. Goes to there. Which is the that's it. And that will go to the fuse holder. One end of that will go to the fuse holder. And the other end go to the rectifier, but for testing. There we go. Right. Take these knackered speaker wires off here. Oops. That. Clean some of this. Oh, this bloody solder sucker's jammed. There we go. Just clean a bit of this off here. I mean, it's not going to be finished tonight, but do a bit of the dirty old stuff off. Blimey. Now I need to find a speaker. Should have a test speaker somewhere. There it is, that GEC one. We're getting near to testing. What we'll do, we haven't done the tone correction capacity yet, but we're not worried about that. We just want to just check, make sure that we're getting so we'll solder that. into there. We'll solder that to there. Now I want to look at the other side of the transformer because there are a few iffy joints I'm not happy with. Just mainly the motor wires going in, that's okay, I can live with that. Make sure nothing's touching across, no, just take that peak off that one. These will all get done properly before it goes back. That's only for the motor. These are your mains with the valve. Let's get the valve. Let's pop the valve in. Now I'll go and have a pee because I'm bursting for one. There we are. I'll go and have a quick pee and then we'll come back, plug the damn thing in and see if it's bang or bust. Right, so basically where's our grid wires? Right, there are wires to the grid. Keep this fucking I'm just double checking everything before we commit. Let's get our safe block. Plug our safe block in. Volume full up. Just double check all this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's all top blocked off. So it's just fell on the floor, or the remote for the camera, I'll pick that up after. Let's turn this safe block off. We have to get to the power switch, and we'll just put this so nothing's under it. No, we're good. That wasn't right. That wasn't right. Or so saying that, no. Hang on. I don't happy with that buzz. Something was going up there though. Hang on. Oh, we've got 103 volts. Oh, I haven't lost the camera there. Yeah. Yeah, we lost the camera there, folks, but let's see. The valve was getting hot, but we weren't getting anything. The valve was getting hot. Oh, hang on. The valve was getting hot. Let's try again. So you can't tell what's happening with the valve because that bloody big dirty big light on. Right. .93 volts, that's dropping down. So I wonder if we've got a dodgy valve. .83 volts, that's too low. That's too low, that. Hey Christine.
All right, Andy.
.207 we've got now. So we're getting 207 with the valve out. So we've got a bad valve. So we've got a bad valve, and have I got a replacement? It's a UL41 we need. And do I have a good UL41 knocking about? So I'm looking at my valves. Here, see what we've got. Let's go to all views while I have a look, because this could take some. Yeah, we've got bad because it didn't warm up. The valve got warm, but it didn't. The valve got warm, but it didn't translate into anything. There was nothing coming through the speaker. No. That's an EL41. Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Did Mildred get the biscuits?
Yes. UL. You got a clue what that one is. Well, it's not a UL41 anyway, because UL41, a little tit on the bottom of it. So, we're looking for one with a tit on the bottom anyway. May have to order one in. What have we got there? Don't know what that is. It could be an EL. Doesn't say. Numbers wore off it. And I can't take the chance of putting the wrong one in. EL41. We want the UL. What's this one? That's a EZ40. That's rectifier. But I've not got one. Nope. 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 UL41. So, and I know this is a good one because it wouldn't have been saved otherwise. Make sure it is a UL, not an EL. Yeah, UL41. There we are, we're in. See what we get this time, shall we? So, well, the valve lit up. There we go. It's alive! It's alive! There you go. Valve in the bin. There you go, folks. I can relax and have a cup of tea now, a cup of coffee now. Hey! I've just got the tone correction capacitor to do, and I'm going to save that and do it tomorrow. And I'm very happy with that. And we'll do. I've not done extensive tests. I don't need to, because that's got a silicon rectifier. If that was going to go bang, it'd have gone bang straight away. Well, I'm really pleased it turned out to be a bad valve. See how fast that warmed up? Yeah, put it on there, Christine. Why are you having a biscuit?
No, it's not tonight.
I was going to say, you can't eat everything at once.
You've got Scotch eggs.
They're mine. Keep your fucking eyes off. They're my treat.
Are they?
Yes. If you'd have said you like, I didn't know you liked Scotch eggs.
I like Scotch eggs.
If you do one next time, I'll get you some. You're not taking my fucking Scotch eggs, they're mine. And anyway, guys and girls, so what do you think about that then, Heather? If you're still watching, that's your amplifier back to life. Thank you very much, Mark. Cheers, Simon. Yeah, cheers for everyone who, yeah. Doesn't take me long, does it? I mean, they're in here barely a day and they're done. And that's how it should be, you know. That's how it should be, folks. It should be, they should be in and then out. Cheers, Harvey. I'm gonna sit and have my cup of coffee and have a chat with you guys. I think I've earned a coffee tonight. Yeah, really pleased with that. That can go back into its cabinet tomorrow. I'm not doing the tone correction capacitor tonight. I'll do that tomorrow when Steve's here. I'll save the finish off. I'll save the finale for the live tomorrow, and that's what we'll do. Right. Well, I haven't looked at the manual yet, Harvey, but Steve will know more than me. Steve will know more than me, Harvey, because his forte is tape recorders. I mean, that shouldn't make any difference, but you know, he's probably worked on one. I've never worked on one of them machines, so I don't know. Cheers, Heather. Yeah, your amplifier is now back to life, all because of a dead valve. But then again, it needed all that remedial work doing anyway, because it means that the amplifier, it improves the longevity of the amplifier. It means tomorrow what we'll do, we'll get the tone correction capacitor replaced, put a new one in, and we'll put the fuse holder, we'll find somewhere for that fuse holder, and we'll try and tighten up that loose output transformer. Yeah, but the old valve's gone in the bin where it belongs. It was warming up, but it weren't warm. But it must have had something inside there, because it wasn't producing any audio. Hang on. Well, Steve said it should be about 45, but there's only 25. Right. Well, I don't know, Harvey. It's no good discussing it with me, because I've never repaired one of those machines. I don't know. It should all that information should be in the service manual. It should tell you in the service manual what it should be. Yeah, I've certainly earned me coffee tonight, that's for sure. That's how I like them. I like to get a job done like that. Well, that's it. You see, you know, he's not telling us everything, is he, Simon? He's not telling us whether it's. Well, he told me. I think he told me earlier that it was just out of the power supply. So I presume he means a floating voltage. Floating. It'll be higher than what it is with a load on it. Because as soon as you wang a load on it, it's like when I pulled that valve out of there. You know, there was 200 and odd volts because there was no load. As soon as the valve started to go, as soon as the valve started to get going and conducting, that was it. The voltage started to drop, but at least it didn't drop stupidly low this time. The idea is it'll drop and then come back up. Once everything's conducting, it'll come back up, generally come back up again. That's the experiences I generally find. But yeah, 1.7 plus X, yeah, the AC times the AC voltage, yeah. It's probably somewhere around that ballpark, isn't it? Will the hum go? There'll always be. The hum won't go, Heather, but there'll always be. There'll always be some sort of a hum on that. There always has been on them. You know, dance sets were generally pretty hummy things. Once it's got the 3-core cable on and everything's back in, then the hum should be greatly reduced. There shouldn't be much hum on it, to be honest, but you generally hear the hum when you turn the volume full up and there's no there's no record playing. You should hear the hum over the record, but there's always some sort of a hum on them dance sets. I don't think they made a dance set that didn't hum. The worst ones for it are them Auto Conquests. They really hum them things. Bermudas can be a bit hummy as well. But the hum, you'll never get rid of the hum entirely. By me replacing the capacitors, and I've gone for slightly higher values. That will improve a little bit. That will help it out. But well, if I go back over to the desk, back over to the bench, and I switch the amplifier back on, we can see then how much hum is actually there. Let's put my coffee there because I'm coming back to it in a minute. Because that big loud hum you heard before was me probing this wire here because I was probing the grid. Now let me I want to connect the meter back on because I like to have the meter connected because I like to monitor things when that valve's cold now, it's supposed to be. Right, so that's negative on the meter. Right, that's, hang on, I pulled the negative out. Right, these are the wires that go to your cartridge, which go from the volume control into your grid, into the grid of your valve, going to your control grid. I'm just trying to get this to stay in here, it keeps slipping out. And if we put that behind there, then it won't slip out. Now, valve's lit up. It lit up and then went down, died down. It'll now yeah, we're at 190 odd volts. Right, that's your hum there, but
The reason why we're getting that is because that earth being loose, that ground being loose. That's why we're getting that. If I move that one out of the way, fire it back up, see what I mean? And I hold that there now. There. If I get the screwdriver, see what I mean? But I put that behind there. Once I tighten that transformer, Heather, can you hear that hum? That's what you'll get on full volume. That's what you'll get on full volume. And you may get, I can smell sweets in here now because that tub that had them valves in, it used to have sweets in it and the smell stays in them for months and it makes you want to eat a bag of sweets. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Get it, you. There we are. Oh. Ah. Got a cramp in my bloody belly with bending down there, pick that up. Oh. You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so fat. Right, so yeah, well that's about the hum you're going to get there, Heather. That's about the hum you're going to get. Once I tighten that transformer up, because you see how important it is to have transformers tight and stuff. You know, I can't emphasise how important that is. But that would have been that would have had a. I don't know whether you've ever heard it. Have you ever heard it working ever? You know, I don't mean have you ever heard it working ever. I mean, have you ever had it working? Have you ever heard it playing, Heather? That can be very confusing. But it'd be interesting because with that transformer be loose, it would have had an intermittent hum on it, a very loud intermittent hum, because. You saw when I wiggled the screwdriver around, at first I thought it was me meter lead inducing a thing into it, but it wasn't. Well, I'm glad you're pleased with it. You'll enjoy it when you get it back. Go jogging. Yeah. Can you imagine me legging it up the road all his weight on me, Heather? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll finish your record player first, love, just in case I drop dead. I can't go jogging in public. People will see me. People will see me. Can't do that. I know you're laughing at Harvey. You're not far behind. You know, you know, you know, another Mars bar. You'll be 1 meal away from a sumo wrestler. But yeah, I thought you might want your record player doing before I go jogging. Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, Heather, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You made a cracking job on that case. Definitely.
You know, I've done a few and they haven't looked as good as that. That's a lovely job, that, really. Spot on. What? Yes, it had an intermittent hum, or a loud hum. So yeah, so that's why it's because that transformer being loose. But we also know that the valve was knackered, so the valve's gone in. The old valve's gone in the bin, and a good replacement's gone in into the circuit. You know, it'll be finished. Do you know it'll be finished this time tomorrow? It'll be finished. Be finished tomorrow. I'll do that tone correction capacitor. You know, put it back in the case. It's done. That's why I like record players. They're so bloody simple. You know, it's just an amplifier and a mechanism. There's nothing else nothing complicated. I mean, I don't mind doing radios. I'm not a big fan of tape recorders. I do them occasionally, but I've never have been a fan of tape recorders. Well, it's a good first attempt. I mean, my first attempt was abominable. You should have seen it. In fact, it was that bad. I was that unhappy with it. I peeled it all back off. I managed to get to it before the glue set. I peeled it all back off. But luckily enough, I bought enough stuff to do it again. In fact, I bought enough stuff to do it. I actually did 3. I bought enough stuff to do 3. You know, it looks like it's just come out of a box, to be perfectly honest, you know, with DANSETTE written all over it. It looks like new, but it's really, really nice, it is. But yes, it's but yeah, the in all honesty, guys and ladies, the legs on them don't do them justice. Not in my opinion, they don't. I'm not. Can you pick up Tuesday? Of course you can. Yeah, I'll be here waiting. No worries. Yeah, I'll be in all day, so yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, you got the address. Just drop by, collect, and yeah. You want to know what a growler is? A growler is what we call a cheese and onion pie from where I come from in Wythenshawe originally. We just used to call them growlers. Holland's cheese and onion growlers. If you went into a chippy years ago, in the old days when I was a kid, and you asked the guy or the lass behind the counter for a cheese and onion growler, you know, or just ask them for a growler, they give you a cheese and onion pie. But that's what it is. It's a Holland's cheese and onion pie, a cheese and onion growler, because they make you burp and fart and everything. So, yeah, they make you burp and fart. I'll tell you a story actually. I've got a friend who's in his 80s now, a friend of mine called Tyrone, and he was telling me one night, he's told me all sorts of stuff over the years. I've known him since 1978. Really good for old friend of mine. Anyway, and he said this friend of his I've got a feeling who the guy is, but he said this guy, friend of his, told him about this stereo that he'd just bought with a Garrard SP25 in it. He says, "Oh, I'll bring it round and let you have a listen." This was in the early 70s. And he said, for me lunch that day, he says, I ate 5 or 6 cheese and onion growlers. Oh, Newcastle upon Tyne. Oh, I've got a couple of friends who I've got a friend who lives in Newcastle. My mate YI Man Derek. I call him YI Man. Anyway. Anyway, so he said that Tyrone said, he said that I'd ate about 5 or 6 of these cheese and onion pies for me. You know, for me lunch. Like, he said I was hungry and I just kept going into Chippy because I was working nearby. Kept going in and getting them. He says, and this bloke come round. He says, and he's there setting his stereo up and he's measuring the distance between the speakers and the actual unit, and he's got his tape measure out there and he's measuring it and he's pissing about his head. He said, and all of a sudden, he says, I just felt my stomach go. He says, and I burped. He said, it was a dead long burp, he said. He says, and it stunk vile horrible. He said, it was a horrible smell. He said, he just picked his record player up and his speakers, put them back in his car and drove off. I said, what did it sound like? He says, I don't know. He says, I never heard it. Yeah, that's why they call them cheese and onion growlers. Oh yeah. I mean, they're not as nice as they used to be, them cheese and onion pies. I had one for me tea last night, but they're alright with a few beans on them. You know, 2 of them in the microwave. You know, for about 10 minutes for 2 pies, because it's about 5 minutes for 1 pie from frozen. About 10 minutes, maybe a bit less for 2 pies, and a tin of beans, and you know, yeah, you got yourself a decent hot meal. I mean, you know, hey Christine,
What?
let him out the back.
What am
I know, but he stood behind me whining. Because he's not getting anything else to... Has he got any small treats or anything left?
Come on, Scraps.
But don't slam that gate, the baby upstairs is in bed.
Scraps, come on. He's after food in.
He's not getting any food, he's had what he's got coming to him. Has he got any small treats or all left?
I don't think he's got any.
No. What's that stick thing in the bottom of his jumbo box? There's a small stick thing in the bottom of there. Yeah, but that's why we call them cheese and onion growlers, Heather. Because you know, if you eat too many of them, they sort of like make you growl a bit. In fact, actually, I ate one last night with me tea with some chips. I had one for me tea with a plate of chips and a couple of pieces of bread, and I was a bit growly when I went to bed. I was a bit growly this morning. Yeah. Just things that you call things, innit, I suppose. You know, yeah. Oh, has he got some sausages? We'll give him one of them. But yeah, it's I don't know. What is it? Hang on. What?
I've just found him a sausage.
Have you found him a sausage?
Yeah. Scooby-Doo sausage.
Yeah, that's been in the cupboard for quite a while. Be alright though.
Be alright.
Hang on a minute. How am I supposed to open this?
The fork.
No, we're gonna go home with a fork. Hang on a minute. Where's my standing knife? Do you know something? My tools are gonna stink of dog treats. Ooh. Hey guys, what does this remind? I've got to get a camera on here. I've got to get a camera on here, guys.
And it's the dogs.
Yeah, what does this remind you of, guys? Yeah, this will make you all cringe, won't it? Oh, yeah. There we go, look at that. I wonder what they put in these scraps. Come here. Come here, son. There we go. There we go. What's that? What's that? Take it gently. Go on. Good boy. There we go. That's his sausage sorted out. Right, let's try and get back in position. Yeah, they're actually nice, and cheese and onion pies. They are actually okay. I enjoy them, you know. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, my friend Graham from the Microchips YouTube channel sent me a message last night. My circuit boards have arrived, the ones that he designed for me. I need him to let me know what I owe from. If you're watching, Graham, send me a message, our pal, and let me know what I owe you. And we'll get you weighed in when you turn up with them, obviously. I don't want you turning up here and I've not got the money and, you know, yeah, no. That doesn't work. I don't like doing that. I like people to turn up and get what they're owed when they turn up. And drop something off for me, good enough to get them done for me. What are you doing, Christine? Yeah, so yeah, I've had a few of these. I've had a few of these auto mixes. Was it originally red when you, was it originally green when you got it, Heather, or was it a red one? Because all the ones I've ever seen have been like a maroony red colour, like a maroony sort of like red with like a grey white sort of mottled sort of you know, like a pattern on them. Rexine. I've only ever seen them in red. I've never seen a green one. I mean, they must have done a green one. I've just never seen one. I'm just interested. Was it that colour or did you change it? It's a good change. I mean, it looks good. It suits it. I certainly think so. You know, definitely. You know, well, looking at that, if I ever need a record player recovering, I'll give you the nod, because, you know, even I can't, even I can't do them that good. I'm no good at that kind of stuff, mate. I can do many things if I put my mind to it. It's just putting my mind to it. You know, I like to do the. Hey, Paul hasn't been on tonight, has he? Oh yeah, he is. He's in the background, isn't he? Because he sent me a message. Good evening, Paul, for a guy from the 60s. Yeah, because he sent me a message earlier telling me I had no sound. Yeah, he is about somewhere, isn't he? I hope you and the wife is good, Paul. Yeah, most of them. I've only ever seen them in red. They're like a dirty maroon colour, weren't they? I mean, they were probably a bit nicer than that when they were new. But yeah, you've done a really nice job, it has to be said. You know, and I think it suits it. Yeah, I think it suits it, to be honest. It's right. Yeah, because I've had a few of them in, and I've not seen one as nice as that. The worst one I had in, I did have a really, really bad one in, and I couldn't believe that how well it turned out when I finished it, electrically, that is. It was my friend Phil, who lives in Shildon. He brought me a load of them down on his first trip here. He brought about 7 or 8 of the 7 or 8 record players. He brought about 7 or 8 of them, and one of them was an AUTOMIX, and that was intended to be used for spares to keep something else alive if we needed to. But I didn't, and I very rarely have to break something up for spares. Anyway, I repaired everything he brought and left that till last. And I called it, it's on my YouTube channel, I called it the DANSETTE shitter. I didn't even think it was going to turn out anywhere near as well as it did. But it did it. It actually had quite a good sound on it. It weren't bad. It actually sounded quite nice. It had the BSR UA8 in it. Even it had the speed controller knob missing. And I think the knob to operate the mechanism was broken. So I had to repair the knobs. I didn't have any that were any good. They were all broken, the ones that were in here. So I found a way of repairing them, so that they could be re-put back onto the record player and used. And you know, like Harvey said, you know, in this game you have to be pretty creative, and he's right about that. Yeah, that's a nice touch, isn't it? The Beatles apple in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, but the early Dansette's, including this one here, they were made at Plus a Gram House before it was known as Dansette House. The early ones. This is that old girl there. She was made in 1954. She was made. If she'd have been made if she'd have been made a few months later, she would have had an EL84 in her, because that's when Mullard developed the EL84 in 1954. But I don't know at which point in 1954, was it the beginning, the middle, or the end? But it did come out in 1954, the EL84, and would go on to become the most popular audio valve in history. Which is quite fitting, because the EL84 is a good sounding valve, and you can put a lot of power into them as well. You can put 250 volts up 250 volts at DC up the anode. Oh, did you see that video ever? Yeah, on the Dansette shitter. Yeah, and I repaired the knobs, control knobs for the changer and everything. You know, but well, you can't just phone BSR now, can you? I mean, somebody asked me for something and it was a rare part. I forget what it was, but it was something off a BSR and I wouldn't give it. And I just said, you know, I wanted something for it, obviously. I forget what it was, but I wanted something for it. Weren't expensive, but I wanted something for it, £5 or something like that, and didn't want to pay me, so I said, well, just phone BSR. I said, see if BSR will send you one out. You know? I said, but good luck with that, because they went out of business in 1984. They went bankrupt in 1984, BSR. You know, getting spares, you know, any spares for any of these mechanisms, you know, they're all going to be used unless you find some new old stock. Like I fell on my feet one day. I was scouring into, I was just looking around eBay, and I spotted a box of brand new, unused BSR changers. I've got one under here which is full of dust now. The black ones with the silver out, with the part plastic, part metal arms on them. You know, the 70s ones, 3-speed jobs. And there was there was, I think there was 6 of them, and he wanted 50 quid. He wanted 50 quid, and I didn't have 50 quid. So I went round to see my friend round the corner. He's no longer with us now, my friend Andy. No longer was a good friend. I went round and I mentioned him. I said, can you lend us a nifty, like, you know? And he said, well, you have to. So I explained it. So we went on the net. He said, yeah, there they are. He says, I'll order them and have them dropped off here. He said, you just collect them. I said, okay. So he did that. And I got the Mildred to come round and pick them up for me, because they weighed quite a bit. And anyway, there was a note in it, because I thought there was only 6 of them. Anyway, it turned out that he'd found another 2, so he threw them in the box as well. So I actually got 8 of them for 50 quid. And I've still got 2 or 3 of them knocking about. There's one under there. There's one in a Binatone Music Centre that's going to get scrapped. A few of them have gone out in record players, you know, which have had really scabby decks but really nice. I got a record player from a guy called Chesterfield Charlie. It was an HMV stereo. It was and it was mint, you know, but he tried to repair the changer and destroyed it. He destroyed the changer. I mean, literally destroyed the changer. So one of my new changers went into that. I mean, they were all seized up when I got them. Obviously, I had to recommission them. But yeah, brand new changers. I couldn't believe me luck when I seen them. You know, and I look out for stuff like that. You know, what would be nice, it's never going to happen, but what would be nice would be to fall on a stash of brand new BSR Monarchs, things like UA8s or something like that, or, you know, anything in the Monarch range. The Monarchs were made from about 1954, 53, 54, all the way up to about 1969, 68, 69, when they stopped making Monarchs. I think the ones that found their way into record players in the early 70s were what manufacturers of record players had bought in and were using up. Yeah, you know, and you know something, in all my years, this is true, in all my years in doing this, I've been doing this since I was about a 9-year-old child, remember. I know the business very well, and in all my years
I've never ever come across a changer that's wore out. They never did enough work to wear out. They just didn't, because by the time, by the time your stereo got to like 3 or 4 years old, you were looking at replacing it for a better one. And they just didn't do enough to wear out, and which is a testament to them, because they were never bloody serviced either. I mean, no one ever had the record player service. As long as it played records, they didn't care. I mean, I used to service our radiogram when I was a kid. I used to service it. I even service my own stuff. Every now and again I'll have a day or a week where if it's a quiet week, I'm doing nothing, I'll bring something out of the front room that's not been looked at for a while, that's working but not been looked at for a while, and I'll give it a few drops of oil and just check everything. Big stuff like my Decca Compact 4 Music Centre, I don't bring that in here. I just switch that on, and I just drop a bit of oil here and there. That was only greased up a couple of years ago, so it's not had much use. So that's a long way from hardening up again. That won't stiffen up. Yeah, you look after your stuff, it looks after you, and that's a well-known fact. But yeah, Tuesday's fine with that Heather. Yeah, it'd be a nice drive out for you. Because I don't like sending things through the mail. I mean, you sent it to me through the mail, and you packed it really, really well. It got 10 out of 10 on its packaging, but I don't like sending stuff through the mail. I get very nervous, and I don't settle until the person's got it. I sent a Garage Zero through the mail once, and they're getting pretty valuable now, Garage Zero 100s. It was a Garage Zero 100S, and I sold it to a guy in London. He paid me, I sent it out, and when it arrived, it was the plinth was turned into splinters, and you couldn't, the turntable, the lid was smashed beyond recognition, and you couldn't even turn the turntable. The turntable was cocked to one side, you couldn't even turn the turntable. And anyway, he sent me a message, and he sent me photographs. So I just sent him a message, oh, don't worry about it, I'll refund you. So, and I'll just sue the post office. So I just refunded him, and I sued the post office to get my money back. I just put a claim in, and I got my money back. So, but I don't like sending things through the post if I can avoid. I mean, I sent Harvey a tape recorder, but I weren't really too bothered because it doesn't work. I mean, it can be made to work, it only needs a belt, but it still doesn't work. And all the gunge cleaning off from the original belt, because all the gunge on the original belt's in the machine. That'll give you something to do, Harvey. Make sure you've got plenty of cotton buds in. Yeah, it's about a 3-hour drive, isn't it, from where you are? Yeah, because I've got a friend up there called Derek, and he's not been down here for a few years. Well, he was down here a few years ago. About 2 or 3 years ago, I think he was here, because I flogged him a jukebox. I've sold him a rock holder jukebox that I did a deal with. With the Mildred, and I wasn't interested in fixing it, and I know Derek loves them, so I just phoned Derek up. We agreed a price, and he paid it, and he came, paid me, and took it.
Well, that's it. You see, Harvey, you're only going to use that for spares, so you know, some of that somebody's going to use for spares. You don't really go to town about packing it. I packed it as well as I could with what I had. Hey, I'll tell you what, I did get the other day off Flea Bay, and I was quite pleased to get them actually. I got 4 Tony Christie singles. I got Is This the Way to Amarillo? I did What I Did for Maria, Las Vegas.
I'm going, Andy.
Right.
Don't forget the dryer.
Yeah. And a Happy Birthday Someone or Another. I can't remember the full title. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them coming because I like Tony Christie. So I thought I'll have those. They cost me a £5. Hang on. It cost me a £5. I just happened to spot them. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm having them. They're mine. They were a buy it now. Because I only go for buy it nows because I think bids on eBay are rigged. You know, I think when somebody puts something on eBay and it's in the auction format, I think they've got their mate waiting to bid on. I think they ring their mate up and say, "Yeah, I bid on this," and that's unfair. So I only tend to go for buy it nows. And let's just catch up with you guys because I noticed a few just popped up. A few on the chat. What have we got? Simon saying Harvey's. I tend to have more than one project. Yeah, we all do. I think Simon. We all do, mate. And I mean, I've got 2 workbenches here. I can have 2 or 3 things on that go at the same time. I did that when I had 1 workbench. I could have 2 things on at the same time. The 4 bedroom, yeah, I could do with a few more bedrooms and store my junk. Yeah, she's coming from Newcastle upon Tyne, Mark. Yeah, so it's a 3-hour drive. My mate Derek lives in Whitley Bay, and it was about the same for him when he come here. Trying to eat and type. I don't like eating when I'm typing. Bent over a desk all day. Yeah, good plan, Harvey. Yeah. No, I can't sit and eat and type. Get food in your keyboard. And then when you try and press a button, 2 go together. I remember years ago, you know, I did a bit of boxing when I was younger. Yeah. Tried a bit, yeah. I remember once I was stood there in the ring and I got what they call a bus service punch. You know, where you're waiting for 1 and 2 come together. Yeah, they're handy then conservatories, aren't they, for working in? My mate Mick's got a great big patio door, you know, and in his kitchen, and that lets loads of light in. I mean, it's, you know, that's lovely. You know, you can work in there, no problem. I mean, this doesn't let a lot of natural light in, but I manage. I get by. What time are we on anyway? Let's have a look. 10 to 10. I'll be going in a few minutes, guys. I'll be going in a few minutes. I'll be putting me supper in the oven, and while my pizza cooks, I'll scoff those Scotch eggs. Fancy Christy wanting to pinch me Scotch eggs. I bought them as a bit of a treat because I've not had them for ages. you know, yeah. So what we'll do tomorrow, we'll get the transformer tightened up. I mean, we've got to tighten that transformer. So the agenda for tomorrow is tighten that transformer. There's still a couple of earth wires dangling down at the back. We've got the fuse holder to put on. Find somewhere good to put the fuse holder. We've got the fuse holder to go on. Then we can get it back in its case and we can have it playing a record tomorrow. And I've got the cartridge. I've got the new cartridge wires to solder up onto the back of onto the tag board on the changer. They've got to be done tomorrow, but I'll do them as I'm putting it back together. And everything done. Jobs are good un. But yeah, it's yeah, there we go. Yeah, Christy's just ate a pot noodle. I can smell it. A chicken flavour pot noodle. Yeah, I can smell it. I think she's got her boyfriend coming this week, Christine. They went out for a meal on. They went out for a meal on Tuesday. They invited me out once. I says, I'm not coming out with you two. I says, I'm not sitting there watching you two play patty cake while I'm eating me dinner. You know. No, I says, I'm not. I says to Carl, I says, like taking your dad out with you or your brother. I says, no. I says, I'm not. I says, I'm not coming. I mean, no. What's Harvey saying there? Well, I've been free to do what I want for the last 25 years. I've been divorced about 25 years, 24, 25 years, 25 years. Been divorced. I'll tell you what, I've been longer divorced than I ever was married. I was only married 7 years. Yeah. I didn't even get to scratch the 7-year itch. I was fucking gone. But there again, me and Christine, we do get on a lot better since we've not been married. You know, that's for sure. So, you know, yeah, we got a daughter out of it that we love very much. You know, we got a daughter out of it. But yeah, I'm yeah, I'm really happy with the way that's turned out. You know, you know, I don't even vary hack 'em either. The only time I vary hack 'em is if they've not been plugged in for 40 odd years. I mean, that thing's like a brand new amplifier. Because to all intents and purposes, apart from the controls and a couple of transformers, it is a brand new amplifier. Well, the valve's not brand new, but it's certainly better than the one that was in it. The one that was in it was doing nothing. But yeah, we're all done now. Right, guys and girls, I'm going to leave you all to it. I'm gonna sit and see what other YouTube creators have put up that I do watch. Find something to watch while I eat my supper, and yeah, I wish the demand was even bigger. I've got about 30 record players knocking about this place. Could do with getting rid of some of them. There's some I don't want to get rid of, like my Hacker and my Clark and Smith, but pretty much everything else can go. Apart from the Garage Zero. But that being said, I'm going to shoot off, guys, and I'm going to leave you all to it. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining in and having a bit of a laugh and being good sports and all that lot. And thank you thank you to everybody. And if you're not subscribed, then please like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends, tell everybody, even people who you don't like, tell them as well. And join me and Steve live for the Sunday Live tomorrow, where we'll finish forgot her name. We'll come back to me in a minute. I've forgot her name. My mind's gone blank, guys. It must be getting knackered. Yeah, you know, we'll get that finished tomorrow. And somebody outside? No, leaves blown about probably. Yeah, you know, anyway, we'll get that all sorted out tomorrow. That'll be collected Tuesday. Lovely. And yeah, I'm just looking. Look after your goodbye, or look after your growlers. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing like a cheese and onion growler to keep you going, especially a tin of beans. yeah, good night, honey. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, and you know, I'm sure you'll enjoy it when you get it back, and you know. There we go, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining me, and good night, and you all stay safe. Right.